Hello everyone. Welcome to Daily English Practice. English Short Stories for Beginners. Long ago, in the golden deserts of Arabia, there lived a kind and humble traveler named Hakim. He was a trader by profession and often journeyed across the hot, sandy lands with only his camel as his companion. His camel was strong, tall, and loyal. It carried his bags of goods during the day and kept him company under the stars at night. One day, Hakim was traveling across the endless dunes. The sun had set, and the desert winds began to blow. The air turned chilly, and the once scorching sands now felt cool underfoot. Hakim knew it was time to rest. He found a quiet spot between two sand hills, sheltered slightly from the wind. From his saddlebag, he took out his small, portable tent made of canvas and wooden poles. It wasn't large, just enough for one man to lie down inside. He set it up carefully, put his belongings by the side, and crawled in, wrapping himself in a warm blanket. His camel, as always, sat quietly outside, resting its long legs on the sand. As the wind picked up and the night grew colder, Hakim was just drifting to sleep when he heard a soft voice from outside. "Master," the camel said gently, "it is very cold out here tonight. May I please put just my nose inside the tent?" Just the nose, nothing more. Hakim, half asleep, opened one eye. He looked toward the entrance of the tent and saw his camel's big brown eyes pleading with him. "It's only your nose," Hakim said kindly. "All right, you may put your nose in. But just the nose." "Thank you, master," said the camel, and slowly slid his nose into the tent. He sighed with relief as the warmth touched his skin. Hakim rolled over, pulled his blanket tighter, and tried to fall asleep again. But after a few minutes, the camel spoke once more. "Master," the camel said, "my ears are freezing. May I put my head inside too?" "Just my head. My ears feel like they're turning to ice." Hakim sighed. He was a kind man, and he loved his camel. He didn't want the animal to suffer. "All right," he said, "but only your head. There isn't much room in here." The camel carefully pushed its head inside the tent. Now the space became slightly tighter. Hakim had to move a bit closer to the wall of the tent to make space. But the camel was content, and the cold was kept at bay, for now. An hour passed. Hakim was almost asleep when he heard his camel again. "Master," the camel whispered, "I hate to bother you, but my front legs are going numb. The wind is getting stronger, and I can barely feel my knees. May I please put my front legs inside the tent too?" Hakim sat up. "But you are already taking up so much space. I barely have room to stretch." "I promise I will be still," said the camel. "I will not move once I am inside. It's just until morning." Hakim hesitated, but his soft heart gave in. "Fine," he said, "but be careful." The camel gently pushed his front legs into the tent. Now Hakim had to curl up tightly. The tent was crowded, and the air felt warm and heavy. But the camel was finally comfortable. Just as Hakim was about to fall asleep again, he felt a heavy push. The back of the tent bulged. Something large was pressing in from the outside. "Camel," Hakim said in alarm. "What are you doing now?" The camel replied, "Master, the wind has grown too strong, and my back legs are freezing. Please, just let me come in fully. I will not disturb you, I promise." "There is no space left," Hakim shouted. "You're already filling up most of the tent." "I will lie down very carefully," said the camel. "Just a little bit more space." "You're so kind, master. I know you will understand." Before Hakim could reply, the camel pushed himself entirely into the tent. His whole body now took up the space. The tent's fabric stretched and shook. Hakim, pushed aside, found himself near the edge of the tent wall, barely able to sit, let alone lie down. "Camel, you must go back outside," Hakim said. "You said it would only be your nose. Then your head, then your legs, now the whole tent belongs to you." "I apologize, master," the camel said calmly, "but you see, I am much bigger than you. And the cold is worse for me. Maybe you can sleep outside for a while. You're used to the desert more than I am." Before Hakim could protest further, a strong gust of wind blew open the flap of the tent. The camel shuffled to make himself more comfortable. The wooden poles creaked, and the cloth strained against the pressure. With a loud snap, the tent finally gave way. The entire structure collapsed, and Hakim rolled out into the sand. He sat there, covered in dust, shivering under the stars. The camel, still sitting where the tent had been, looked out and said, "Now, no one has the tent." "That is fair, yes." Hakim shook his head and sighed deeply. The cold night stretched on, and Hakim, with nothing to protect him, learned a hard lesson under the desert sky. Moral of the story: if you give in too much, people may take advantage of your kindness. Set boundaries early, or you may lose what you have. Subscribe to the channel for more stories.